Hi, it's Gunnar here. I'm at the 2023 boat show in Düsseldorf. I'm here at the Indiana stand. As some of you already know, this year I have rejoined Indiana to ride their boards. But also I've got some really cool stuff to show you. In the last few years, Indiana have developed quite a bit of a foil range too to complement the boards that I've designed for them. So actually let's go and check them out. All right, so as you can see here, there's quite a lot of foils. Indiana have now got a full carbon range. They've got actually a range of two different mast sets. What we are seeing here are the new low drag series. That's what the LD stands for. This is the 95 centimeter mast. We have the 72 LD up here and an 85. So that's the 72. And down there we have the 85. Yep. These masts are pretty stiff, very low drag, very smooth to ride. I've had a few goes on them, actually pretty happy with those. And then right here you can see some very high aspect wings. I haven't seen high aspect wings like this in a while. Like, this thing is a bit of a monster. It's a 1300 span, super high aspect wing. This thing's gonna be amazing for downwind, like endless pumping. And then there's like a 1050, a 900, and a 750 up here. And then one of the old staple favorites, this was one of my favorite winging wings. This is the 920, made for their new high performance foil system. If we have a look at it down here again, you can see that they've got a new fuselage system. It's a lot more streamlined than the previous version. And on it you can see the new medium aspect wings, which were designed by the Indiana design team. And on this side you can see that there's also 4 different sizes of the medium aspect wing. Something big for beginners, heavier riders, really good in light wind, also pumps pretty well, and all the way down to an almost kiteable size. That's perfect for the more advanced rider, freestyle wave riding. And obviously there's also new stabilizers with the MA range and the XAR range. So we have one of the medium aspect stabilizers here. This is the 40 centimeter stabilizer. There's also a 37 centimeter stabilizer too. And then on the XAR side of things, there are XAR stabilizers, like high aspect ratio stabilizers, which are flat, which are really fun to pump with because the yaw axis is really nice and loose. There's a 336, a 370, 336, sorry, a 420, and a 520 here. These are like super light. So like the full carbon setup is probably one of the lighter setups on the market and are really fun to ride. They are continuing with like the first generation series. It was super popular. There was the 1100P is probably one of the most popular beginner dock starting pumping wings that's existed. That's over there. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys, especially in Switzerland and Germany, learned how to dock start and pump foil on this foil. So Indiana are continuing to sell this foil as a perfect entry to pump foiling and also for light wind wing foiling too. And also, let's have a look at the different fuselages. Over here, at the top here, we have the carbon fuselages. As you can see here, we have them in 3 different sizes. So, start from the smallest one. It's the 557. So that's 57.5 centimeters. Then we also have the medium size here, which is the 625, a 62.5. And then the largest one, which is the 67.5. Obviously, the longer the fuselage, the more stable. So you have a choice of having a really nice stable ride, a little bit more for the racers or beginners, all the way down to a super agile, easy to pump, short fuselage. And then underneath, we have the aluminum fuselages. As you can see, it's essentially the identical design. The cool thing is that the new aluminum fuselage and the carbon fuselage are compatible with the old aluminum masts. so the V1 mast. There's actually an adapter that will go onto the aluminum mast. So if we have an aluminum mast here, that slots in, and that fits perfectly on that system. So you can use the new system with the old aluminum mast if you have that. The new connection system here is a lock-to system, so the fuselage nicely locks onto the mast, and it's a really strong and really rigid connection. And it uses 2 M8 screws to really maximize the durability. There is 2 versions for, let's say, wing foiling, pumping, and so on. We have the short one. This one is perfect for pumping because it's really short, it has very little resistance, and it is amazing for like the advanced rider looking for the maximum agility. We still have the different positions. Okay. We still have the different positions on here and the different angle shims. So on the short, there you have 2 positions, sort of a little bit longer position, the standard position, and an ultra short position for the stabilizer. And that's sort of the maximum turnability, easy pumping. Now, if we look at the standard length, this is close to a 70 centimeter length. You have 3 positions. So you have a long, medium, and short position here. So you're essentially getting 3 fuselage lengths in one, which is an amazing system. Indiana have had this also on their V1 system, and it was a really popular option to have because you essentially could go super stable and super loose without having to change your actual fuselage. And there's obviously a 1 degree to 2 degree different shims for your stabilizer for, again, a more loose or more tight feel. There's also for the wind foilers amongst you, there's also the wind foil aluminum fuselage. It's a 900. Same option, 3 stabilizer positions and a more forward front wing position for Tuttle box wind foil geometry. Now we got a quite few new boards here. And first of all, probably a lot of you have asked about this in the videos. I designed sort of the most sort of low-key, bare bones pump foil board that you can have. This is the Hydro Skate. I designed this in development together with one of our ambassadors called Zeno. He asked me, he's like, man, I want to have a skateboard on the water. So I said, okay, we'll make it 95 centimeters long and make it really, really skinny. It's only 32 centimeters wide. Just about enough to get your feet on it. But this board is amazing. Once you dock start on this, there's nothing under your feet. There's no swing weight. It's easy to pump. You can just keep going for miles. You can turn super tight because you can get really close to the water. It has the croc skin pad, so it's really grippy. And if you are really hardcore and want to start jumping and trying your flat water back loops, we have the middle standard positions for goofy or regular for the foot straps. So yeah, you can jump this and go really hardcore. For those of you guys who want to travel with this, you can have your foil and the Hydro Skate in there on your bike, get to your lake, get to your dock, put together and just go pumping. Super awesome package. And also new to the lineup and in stock now is the new 105 pump foil board. I designed this slightly as a crossover board that you can still kite foil with, but also is amazing for pumping. As you can see here, we've gone to the 2 strap position, again, for regular and for goofy, but you're still on the center of the board, which makes it really easy still to jump while pump foiling, and also it's still good enough hold for you when you're kite foiling. What's new on here compared to the previous generation, we've got a very low-key bevel. That's not a very high angle, it's a shallow angle into the board. This really thins out the rail. It makes it really easy to hold onto the rail. What it also does is when the board hits the water as you're carving around, it doesn't prevent a lot of grip to that rail so the board doesn't get stuck. So this board actually, even though it's a bit wider, doesn't feel as wide, as most of the volume is actually concentrated more around the center of the board at the foil boxes. What's also really cool, this year we've actually put a few more indicators on here to help you position your foil. We have the 0 position, and in centimeter increments, you can go 6 centimeters back and 6 centimeters forward. And the new Leotech boxes are really cool. You can basically drop in the foil, back screws first, slide it down, front screws in. You don't have to take your screws out of your plate anymore. And then besides that, you can see that we have a full range of pump foil boards. We have the really popular 90 from last year that's still being sold this year. It is amazing. A lot of people love this board. It is short, it is compact, it's good for kite foiling and for those advanced pumpers. Next size up, there is the 95 pump foil. This is a more flat pump foil board, beautiful black carbon. Then we also have its bigger brother, the 115. Especially for the guys starting out, this is an amazing size to start out with. It's got enough length to allow you to touch down and then pick up again. And then our ever popular Steve Fleury, the Le Doigt Pro board. If you are trying to pump some distances, this will allow you, if you mess up, it'll allow you an easy paddle back. For those guys who are really good at surf foiling, this is also a really nice high-performance surf foil board to use. It's got a very unique graphic, just exactly how Steve is one of our very unique riders. It matches perfectly, and a lot of riders loved this board last year, and you can still get one now. And underneath those, we still have the 120 and 135 kite foil boards. These are our staple for the kite foiling. It's been an amazing shape. It has worked out really well. A lot of the industries also adopted similar shapes to this, so we feel really proud to be one of the first to have this board, and people still love this board very much. The 120 probably being the perfect size to balance performance and ease of use. That was my 2 days here at the boat in Düsseldorf. I'm heading back to Fuerteventura tomorrow. It was awesome to be here. It was awesome to talk to a lot of our fans and our customers. And I will see you probably on one of my next videos. See you guys in the water. Rock on.